welcome to our second Park Bench interview. Here today we are with Crystal Sears, who is a representative of Paperpie. We have become very close friends as we planned for this interview, so we're excited. I'm excited to share with you all the great things that this company has to offer. And Crystal, welcome to our interviews.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am a single mom and I have 3 kids. They are all older, 22, 18, almost 19, and a 16-year-old daughter. Cool. Just got her license.
Oh,
she had her first solo drive yesterday.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's kind of exciting. And I've lived here in Smithfield since 2003. Cool. So that's 20 years. Wow. It's a long time.
Yeah.
I'm not that old. I've only lived here in Cache Valley and where I grew up.
Right.
So,
and talking about that, where did you grow up?
I grew up actually in central Utah in Ephraim. Snow College is in Ephraim. A lot of people think that Ephraim is in Snow College, which I don't know how that's even a thing, you know, but yeah, the college is in the town, not the opposite.
Not the opposite. Okay, got it. Yeah. And then what brought you to Cache Valley?
Oh gosh. Well, that's kind of a heavy reason.
Okay.
But my mom had died the previous year and I was needing to get out of the house.
Yeah.
I was 19 and I couldn't handle being home anymore.
Yeah, I hear you.
So
You chose to venture out to the north.
I did. And my brother and my sister-in-law, they were apartment managers actually up in Logan.
Uh-huh.
And they got a spot for me in the apartments that they were managing.
Wonderful.
And that kind of was my segue right into Cache Valley. And I've been here ever since.
That's wonderful. So why did you choose to stay? I'm curious.
Well, about 7 months after I moved here, I actually got married.
Wonderful.
And he was from here, and we just kind of, and he was attending Utah State too, so we just kind of stayed here,
yeah.
And we just stayed here.
And are there things that you like about Cache Valley that make you stay here, or can you share with us about the community for a lot of our listeners that are considering moving here?
Yeah, totally. I really, especially Smithfield, I'm sure the surrounding towns have a similar feel, but I just really liked Smithfield because it really felt a lot like home, you know, except it was better because I didn't have to go an hour and a half to go any kind of shopping, essentially.
Oh, right.
You know,
So,
I mean, any decent amount of shopping, you know, you had to go clear up to Provo, which down that way we all call it up north.
Yes,
you know? Yeah. And so that's why I really liked Smithfield, because it still had that small town feel, but yet I can go 10 minutes and pretty much get anything I could ever want.
You got all the resources over here.
Yeah,
That's wonderful.
you really do. You have, I feel like, for me, I do.
Okay,
so
great. Well, thank you. And now I want to dive in a little bit more into the company. So how did you find Paperpie? What motivated you to start with them?
That's a really great question and a really loaded question.
Sorry.
How long do we have? Because seriously, it is such a long answer, but I'm going to try to be a little succinct.
Whatever you feel comfortable saying, no worries.
Well, when I was little, I was a voracious reader. I loved to read, and I loved to write stories, and that was my escape. It was amazing. I came from a big family of 10 kids, and of course my parents, and kind of got lost in the mix a lot because of so many kids, and reading became one of my best friends.
Yeah.
And anyway, and I just always knew in my heart that I would do something with children's books.
Okay.
Whether that was be an author or, I don't know. I had no idea.
Editor, whatever.
Right. Something with children's books. Yeah. And anyway, all during my married life, I had wanted to have something for me to do besides motherhood. Motherhood is great,
Yeah.
but you know, you understand,
Yeah.
you know, you need something to help you grow as an individual. Not that
Right.
motherhood doesn't, because
Right,
it sure
right.
does.
No worries, I
It
understand.
so does. But I just needed something for me to help me
Yeah.
grow, and something that I was passionate about,
Yeah.
you know? And so I had actually looked into several different direct selling companies because it was something I could do at home
Right.
while
you were
being
the
with my kids.
Yeah.
And I looked into a lot of different ones, and they just didn't feel right, you know? And then in like August of 2010, a friend of mine that I went to high school with, and also a friend of mine that used to live out here in Smithfield but had moved to Hiram,
Okay.
that friend, she had sent me a postcard, an invitation to this book party.
Okay.
And I was like, books? I like books, you know? I'm like, I love books, you know? I had no idea what kind of books they were.
Right.
Then it was called Usborne Books and More.
Okay.
And so I decided I was going to go to this party because I could see that friend that had moved away.
Right.
And this friend
books.
from high school.
Right.
And of course books, you know. So I went to this party, and I walked into the house, and the consultant, or the representative, whatever you want to call him, she had set out, and she was my friend, of course, too,
Right.
had set out books all over every flat surface. The coffee table, the mantle, the kitchen table. I mean, you name it. It was covered. And I mean, a lot of these here are Usborne and Kane Miller books too. And you can see some of the products here. I have some facing out. But, and these are actually Smart Lab toys. We just acquired that company actually
Oh, yeah, I see it
really
here.
quickly, or last month, I think it was. But anyway, and so we didn't have those then, obviously, because I just said we acquired that company last month. But anyway, I was just blown away. They're beautiful. I was just like, what are these books? You know, my eyes were huge, and anyway, and I just felt really peaceful about these books. And anyway, so
It felt right.
It did.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, I could do this. I
Yes.
can do books. I can do education. I loved that, you know, and they're beautiful. They just suck you in. And that is actually, my passion is getting like
Which is
bubbling
great.
out of
Yeah,
me.
that's good.
But, which is what they're designed to do, to pull
Right.
kids away from the media, you know, because
Right.
they're so entrenched in it. There's just so much of it now. You know, we need to kind of bring it back and give them.
And the creativity part, right? And art, science, creativity. I mean, yeah.
Exactly. There's so much. So anyway, I was just like blown away, and I was really quite strapped for cash at the time. So I told myself that I only had $20 to spend, you know. And so I looked through, not all the books because there were a ton of books, but a bunch of the books. And this one is actually the very one that I bought. It's
wow.
magnetic getting dressed book. And so anyway, I thought I had 3 kids at the time, and they were pretty young, and I thought each one of them would enjoy this,
Yes.
even though they were quite different ages, you know. And anyway, and so we don't carry these anymore, but this was actually the very first book that I bought.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And I mean, it's so close to my heart. Anyway, so that's how I came to know about Paperpie.
Yeah.
But a few months later, well, I had my own party, and then I decided to join and be a consultant with then Usborne Books and More.
Right. Paperpie today. Yeah.
Right, Paperpie today, and it's been
So how
an
long did
amazing
you
ride.
say then? 12 years? Or?
Yep.
Wow.
I joined in November of 2010.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So definitely passionate about it because that's a lot of time. That's great.
well, and not only am I passionate about it, but the
Yeah.
company is amazing. It is a family-friendly company. I mean, I know the CEO.
Yeah.
Well, the CEO that was at the time that I joined,
Yeah.
he is no longer, because he's older.
Right.
And he handed it off to his son.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a family-friendly company, and I mean, they know me by name.
Right,
You
right.
know, because I've been there forever too.
And that means a lot.
It really does.
Yeah.
And it's that is I think what keeps people too a
Right.
lot, because they truly care about their consultants and their sales field.
That's awesome. So tell me a little bit about the programs that you guys offer here in the community. So we know about your passion now. So what, in these 10 years, like what have been the programs that the community wanted or you've impulsed with them?
Okay. Well, first and foremost, we like to have parties. So you get free books based on your sales. So if you're familiar with like Mary Kay parties and
Right,
Tupperware
right,
parties, you know,
Same idea.
same idea, right? But we do books and education and STEM and STEAM kits, and you know, just it's awesome. So we do parties. Paperpie. Now Paperpie, it just changed last month, so that's why if I say Usborne,
We
give
know,
me
we
some
got
grace.
you. No worries.
But Paperpie is so generous with their free books that you can earn, and plus they offer half-price books too, with your party sales. But first and foremost is the parties.
Okay.
You know, and then I also do a lot of vendor events out in the community.
Okay.
I am out on market days, mostly every Wednesday, from May until August.
Yeah.
You know, vendor events that are around. You know, if there are booths there, there's a good chance that
You're
I'm going to
there.
be there. You know,
Awesome.
or someone from Paperpie.
Right,
You know,
right.
up here in Cache Valley, I'm pretty much the only one that really is active.
Yeah.
Like heavily active. So it's usually me up here. So
But you're looking at other people to join this program too, right? You mentioned.
I'm glad you brought that up, because actually, yes, and you can join for only $10.
Oh, wow.
You can become a story maker, which is a consultant, but we call ourselves story makers because books.
Yes, yes.
And they can join for only $10.
Wow.
You know,
that's
which
good.
is an incredible way to start your own business, to make some extra money, or even make it a career.
Right.
You know, I mean, any job is hard, you know, whether you're totally in love with it or not. There are aspects that are just hard, and you've got to work at it.
Like getting out of the house in a snowy day, right?
Oh, yes.
For those of you who are watching at home, we had 4 feet of snow on the ground this morning. So there was a lot of shoveling. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, right. There was a lot. And yesterday there was a bunch.
Too, yeah, you're right.
This whole winter, I've never seen this consistent amount of snow falling all the time.
We're going to have a green spring and summer. That's going to be fun.
It will be beautiful. I just pray that there's no flooding.
Yes.
You know?
We're good.
So, but yeah, the vendor events, and I really love doing those, because I love it when people come by, because their reactions are close to what my reaction was when I first saw the books.
Wow,
their eyes are wide and they're like, what are these? Unless they're already familiar, then they're like, ooh, what's new?
Let's
you know,
get it.
Their eyes
Yeah.
are still big and bugged anyway. So, but yeah.
Yeah. And so that's kind of like with the vendors and with the schools. How about with families in specific? Do you work with homeschooling families too?
We actually, yes, we have an amazing program called Literacy for a Lifetime.
Okay.
When they buy books from us, or any of our products, anything that we have, whether it's the learning wrap-ups, you know, to help them, or help kids master, like
Numbers or
multiplication or addition, subtraction, states and capitals, you name it, you know. Any of our products. But when they buy books from us, okay, and it's a minimum of $250, but when you buy a minimum of $250 with us, we will donate or give them an extra 50% free for that $250. So say they had $400 that they wanted to get Paperpie products, books and whatnot, okay? They would actually end up with $600 worth, and they get to choose it all. We don't pre-select stuff that they get to have.
Wow,
they
that's
get to choose what they want.
So to the needs of the kids that they're trying to homeschool.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep. So for that 400, they got $600 worth of books, which is incredible. And that program actually is good, can be used for schools, public schools, charter schools, public libraries. You know, I work with those, and they often use it. In fact, I did that program with one of the elementary schools here in the Valley, and they ended up getting,
that's wonderful.
Well, they had $1,000 that they got a grant from the Cash Education Foundation.
That's great.
Yeah, and so they got $1,500 worth of books, and they were blown away.
That's
you
great.
know,
Yeah.
and I love doing that. I love helping them get more for their money.
Right.
You know, and I don't think people really know that.
That they can do these things, or these resources.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And sometimes, you know, just also thinking local, right? Instead of just ordering a bunch of books on Amazon or things like that, you know, also thinking of how you can make more books for your money, really, if they were to contact you or somebody in the community. Wonderful. So I'm curious, have companies like here in Cache Valley sponsor different programs? You mentioned book drives, I think.
Oh, yes. We have a book drive that's actually really popular throughout our company. It's called the Cuddle Book Drive. Okay. And what it is
so cute. Look at that.
this book, and this is Cuddle Bear as well. Okay.
Stop it.
Yes.
That's so cute.
So this set is $25.
Okay.
Okay. And so when people buy a set, or they can buy more, it's actually qualified for that first program I told you about, the Literacy for a Lifetime.
Yeah.
So their donation will be matched 50% as well. Okay.
Wow.
So yes, I have had, in fact, I'm currently doing a book drive, this Cuddle Bear book drive for Little Lambs Foundation.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah, they
yes.
do great work.
Yes. Yes. And these are things that they put in the backpacks that they give the kids that they service.
That's so
Okay.
sweet.
You know, and so if somebody donates $50, that buys 2 sets, but then we're going to donate,
One
Paperpie will donate 1 more.
Yeah.
So in actual reality, that
For 50
you're
bucks, you get
donating
3.
3.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
which
awesome.
I mean, how it's just amazing. So yes, I've had businesses donate money to book drives, which
So
I
that's
need.
good, because we interview business owners. So if you're
Yes.
looking for a socially responsible activity,
Right.
here is one for you.
Right, and I'm part of the Cache County Chamber as well,
Yeah.
and many businesses have expressed
Interest.
in keeping their charitable donations local, so that they can help their own community. You know, and this is a fantastic way.
Yeah.
And not only a book drive, but they can just donate to a school. Say they have $2,000.
Right.
You know, we can, and then we'll match it 50%, so that makes it $3,000, and then we can get each one of the kids a book.
Something to
You
take
know?
in the summer or something.
Yep, to take for the summer,
Yeah.
or what have you. You know, and book ownership is so important. When I wish I would have thought about this before we started this, but I had an experience when I was in elementary school. So I mentioned I grew up in a really big family,
Right.
thus pretty poor. Okay, not a lot of money to go around.
Right.
And so not many books. I don't even remember many books in my house either. That's the reason I went to the library so much.
Right.
Anyway, so the librarian at my elementary school, she was getting rid of a bunch of old books to make room for new books. And she had the classrooms come around and choose a book, each of the kids, if they
Aw,
wanted
that's so
one,
sweet.
you know. And I could barely see over the table. I can see this in my mind.
Yeah.
I know I wasn't very old, maybe, I don't know, 7,
Yeah.
you know. But I saw this book, and I liked the cover. It appealed to me, and it was this little paperback book of poems. And I chose that one, and I still have that book today.
Oh, that's so
you know,
exciting. But that was your first book that you owned. It was
Yes.
yours. It was
Yes.
Crystal's.
It was mine, and I treasured that.
Yeah.
And if that happened to me, I'm sure there are many other kids out there
Right.
that are in the same position, and that's a huge motivating factor for me to get businesses on board, businesses and individuals, to donate
And
to
then
get
those
these kids their books, start their own library, even if ends up only being 3 in their library, it makes a difference.
Right,
know?
right. That is so inspirational. Thanks for sharing. And I'm so happy you have that book still. I mean, that means a lot. So you've mentioned different programs, and I love all of them. So how can people contact you, and how can we help you? This interview will be ready for you to share, but can you share with us your contact information, or where do we find you if we want to book a party?
Oh, sure. So before I do that, though,
Yes.
I remembered I didn't tell about some other programs that we can do with the schools and libraries.
Please go ahead.
I do book fairs. I set up a full-blown book fair.
Okay.
And I will run it. I mean, I do have some parent volunteers,
Right.
to kind of make sure that no books are wandering off, or,
Exactly, yeah.
things like that. And crowd control, because sometimes the influx is pretty great.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, book fairs, and then the school gets to choose. There is a cash option, but they can also choose to get books, which they'll get 50% of total sales in free books. Okay.
On top of it, yeah.
Right. So if they have a $6,000 book fair, for example, they get to choose $3,000 worth of books for the school.
Right.
Wonderful. We also have a program called Reach for the Stars, which
Okay.
is a pledge-based reading program.
What does that mean?
Well,
So they pledge how many books they'll read? And
so
then
no, so the kids for 2 weeks, the program goes for 2 weeks, and kids pledge to read 30 minutes a day, as they should be doing anyway. But this program is designed to help them if they haven't already established a pattern or a habit
build a
of reading.
routine. Yeah, the habit.
So as they're reading, they ask parents, aunts and uncles, close neighbors,
Right.
friends, to sponsor them for their reading. Okay, so they can do pay them a penny a minute, or a flat rate of $5 or $20, whatever they want to do.
Okay.
And that money that the kid
Collected.
collects, he or she gets to choose out of our catalog
Okay.
anything that they want. So if they got $50 from pledges, they get to choose any books that they want that total
Up to that
$50.
amount.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So then
So does this pledge program runs any time in the year, or seasonal? Or?
it's whenever people want to do it.
Okay.
It can be a homeschool group, it can be just a classroom, it
Okay.
can be an entire school, which that gets fun because then there's competition between the kids, and then there's
How many dollars do you have? It's like
yep, dollars or how many minutes. We like to focus more on the minutes
minutes,
read,
yeah.
But it's a wonderful motivating factor. I remember as a kid in my elementary school, we had those too. There's actually a word you can use, but it's patented or copyrighted or
Right, I
something.
get you, yeah.
So I've really restrained not saying that,
Good job.
So
I'm thinking of it too. So,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
job.
good. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see, what other programs do we have? Oh, our fundraiser.
Okay.
Okay,
What
so
is that?
our fundraiser actually is with greeting cards. Another thing I should have grabbed.
No worries.
There's some right over there. But anyway, it's a box, a really nice magnetized box, already organized of greeting cards, individually wrapped with a matching envelope. There's 30 cards in each box for $30. And the organization, the benefiting organization, gets $13 per box sold. So that's
Wonderful.
43%.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's almost 50%. Yeah.
the fundraisers that I know of don't give back that much, And greeting cards, who doesn't need birthday cards,
Right, we will
thank you
use
cards,
them, yeah.
I love having them on hand. I really do. They're so much fun. In fact, I've had friends call me because they know that I have these cards.
Right.
And they're like,
and be like,
hey,
you still have your box?
right, I don't want to go to the grocery store and pay $6 a card,
Yes.
And I'm like, that's totally cool. Come over here. And they're like, I'll give you $1. And I'm like, sweet, I'm good with that, know. So, there's that one. And the only the only requirement, I guess, with that is that you have to sell at least 15 boxes, and then
the fundraiser. Yeah.
Yep, for the fundraiser. Yeah. So
Wonderful.
I mean, it's such an easy, unique fundraiser, and I wish more people knew about it, because I mean, it's so much that they get back.
And they choose the organization they want to work with,
Yep.
right? And so
Yep.
they can sponsor something that appeals to them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Any
Their
charity
cause.
that's close to their heart. I mean, yeah, any
Right.
charity, it's up to them.
That's fantastic.
Oh, okay, and then the
Okay,
contact
any other?
information.
Well, any other program?
Well, I'm trying to think. I'm like, let's see, the fundraiser, Reach for the Stars, Literacy for a Lifetime,
Yeah.
and the book fairs. I think that
But they can
pretty
always
much covers
follow
it.
you to see what other programs you have coming up, right? Like however
Yes.
you want to do
Yep.
that. Yeah.
Yep, you can text me my phone number. Yeah, text me. That's better than calling, because most of the time I don't answer if I don't know who it is.
Right.
You know.
Like everybody else.
Okay, yeah, because there's so many spam calls.
Right.
You can email me at purecrystal18.com.
Okay.
I'm on Instagram, Paperpie Crystal Clear,
Okay.
and it's a play on my name.
Yeah.
Crystal Clear means obvious. That's the obvious
Yes,
choice. So
yes.
Paperpie
Yeah.
is the obvious choice.
Right.
Anyway,
I
so,
like it. Clever.
So yeah, I was like, wow, I'm glad I have that name for this purpose only.
Oh, that's funny.
Just kidding. So
But I will put all your information also at the bottom,
Okay.
under the
Yeah.
video, so that way people can find it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Crystal. Like your excitement for these books exceeds. Like we can see it, and gets me excited too. I'm actually hosting a party for the same purpose, because I have to share with my friends the great products that they have, and I also have a 15-month-old, so I want to get him some good books, so that way we don't have to watch too much TV.
Right. And another thing, by hosting a party, you're
Yeah.
going to get an extra $25 in free books.
Right,
And
right,
that's
right.
good for anyone that contacts me
Yeah.
from this video or wherever they hear it from, see it
That's
from.
gonna be that's gonna
So-
be the coupon associated with these videos.
Yeah.
So you do want to share it
Yeah.
too. The more people you share it with, they mention it, and then you can get free books. So
Right.
that's good.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's just, and I'm passionate about it because I have seen the difference that it's made in my own kids' lives.
Right.
I mean, I was passionate for my own self,
Yeah.
but then now as they're older, my youngest is 16, I can see what a pivotal role this has made in their lives.
Yeah.
And it blows me away. It literally blows me away, because I know it's because they've been surrounded by these amazing books. I know it. There's no question in my mind.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Crystal. And,
You're welcome.
And thank you, everybody, for listening and tuning in. Like I said, we'll have the information in the notes, and then feel free to share it and maybe book your own party. So until next time.